How many here looking for more inspections? Nice. That's a good 50%. Love that. Love that. An interesting thing I was able to do this time, being able to communicate with a lot of inspection fuel attendees and coming up with the topic of what needs to be addressed. Some of those questions we have been getting in the last few months from previous conferences. Recently, well, Summit members are not here. If you're not familiar, Summit group is a different group. I did speak there earlier this morning as well, and same thing. Coming up with the challenges, coming up with those topics, it's very important. It's not one-way communication in terms of marketing. When we all come here, it's more important for me to talk about things that are important to you as well. Just like for you, your customers are important. For us, in order to be giving powerful content, share powerful information, insights that we are seeing across the country, it is very important to bring those valuable insights to the audience. So today we are going to talk about one size does not fit all and how to ask the right questions when we're talking about ROI, when we're talking about marketing ROI. Without going into too many details, I'm going to jump into a video introduction. This is the first time, guys. I would like your feedback on this. I've been requested to create something like this. So let's go into this to a little bit introduction. Some people may know me, some don't. So let's see.
Born in Pakistan, earned an MBA in marketing, then moved to the...
All right, let me go back. All right.
Born in Pakistan, earned an MBA in marketing, then moved to the Middle East for an exciting opportunity in advertising agency. Back when the digital marketing industry was just taking shape. There he worked with leading agencies, driving breakthrough ideas that set new standards. Seeking to sharpen his edge, Khurram went to London and specialized in digital marketing at the Chartered Institute of Marketing. That experience changed the game. It expanded his vision of just how impactful digital marketing could be. When he returned, he applied this new perspective to help businesses grow in ways no one else saw, tapping into digital opportunities that doubled revenues within a year. From the Middle East to hustling in London, and finally to the US, he arrived with nothing but ambition and a passport full of stamps. Armed with all of this knowledge and global experience, Khurram found an industry no one was paying attention to. Home inspections, fragmented, underserved, ripe for disruption. Khurram saw what others didn't. He built systems that helped hundreds of home inspection companies not only find their true marketing ROI, but also help double their revenues, achieve consistent growth, long-term, not just short-term. From that spark, Digilatics was born. Not just another agency, a results machine. Real ROI, real data, retention rates above 90%. From a laptop in lockdown to a result-oriented growth partner, Khurram has proven one thing. When you think long-term, lead with people, and track what matters. You don't just grow businesses, you build impact. Ready to grow smarter? Say hi at digilatics.com.
To say who. Thank you. It's important, some of the feedback I received in the past, to share my story, share the journey, why I do what I do, why it is my passion, what keeps me awake when I started Digilatics. What was it that was different that I was thinking? I never wanted to build Digilatics as just another marketing agency. In 2020, when we started, for a year, it was just me. Then I have some people sitting here, like my first 10 clients, John Bolton is one of them. Asha, we've been working together for a long time. And a couple other people in this conference. We had, you'd seen from 3 people in Digilatics to now 75 plus, and don't ask me exact number. I don't know that. It's above 75. That's a big team to handle in 5 years. We've definitely done something right, and some of that we're going to look today and share back with you guys of what we have seen, what is working in this industry, what works for James, for example, in central Pennsylvania may not work for you in central Florida or Texas. So one size does not fit all is why we are talking about it. So let's jump into this. The landscape, and it keeps changing. These numbers may not be correct today. Maybe they were correct yesterday. They keep changing. The reason I put them here is just to give you an idea like how things are generally. 75% of home inspectors in the US have invested in Google Business Profile. They pay attention to it. They post on it. 79% of American home buyers, we are talking about consumers, are active on social media. 90% of direct-to-consumer marketing in this industry is through paid ads. These are some of the statistics that we keep an eye on. We look at it. I mentioned earlier in my introduction, there was last year 116,000 inspection jobs that we tracked from our system in Digilatics. That generated 53 million in revenue. All of that was just last year, but we have data from 2020 to now, and we'll keep building on that. Data is very important. Why are you here? It's very important to understand. Earlier in this same room, my friend Aaron was sharing really great insights. I hear good feedback about that too. He has done some amazing work in the industry as well. Similarly, here in this room again, why are we here is to not talk about fluff metrics. We are here to understand most of the marketing agencies around the world are just talking about fluff metrics. Us here, all business owners, business managers, decision makers, needs to understand when you're looking at your profit and loss, P&L statement, you know what you need to look at to know what money is going out, what's coming back. Same thing needs to be applied to your business in terms of marketing. Look at it as a P&L statement. We are not gonna focus on fluff metrics. We're gonna talk about what you've built solid businesses. Now it's time to scale that business with strategy. Being real is important. Now, some of the things I do have bullet points, sure, let's look at those too. Multi-inspector company I was talking about in Miami won't work the same. The strategy won't be the same that you will apply for rural Virginia or somewhere else in Carolinas, for example. Following advice from Facebook groups, I am not referring to our inspector Facebook groups here. I refer to the Facebook groups where random business owners are just talking about. There's no wrong advice. It's just what fits your business is right. How do you evaluate that? If you're taking advice for one inspector from Florida for your company in Chicago which has 20 inspectors, what's working for him may not be suitable for you is what am I referring to here. It might be perfect idea that applies to his market or their market. Some things are very local. Home inspection businesses are local. We call in terms of marketing, we are looking at local perspective. What is more popular in your market? What market are you in?
Oklahoma City.
So Oklahoma City, Jamie. And what's your company name?
It's Go Properties Environmental.
Go Property. So Oklahoma City, do you know if Yelp is popular there?
It is.
So it's very important to be on Yelp, for example, versus white pages or yellow pages may not be as common. You may still get calls like pay $500 to get listed there. Do you want to do that? Maybe not.
That's them, right?
That's them. Just got a text. They heard you. So here we're going to talk about to match your strategy to your market, what's right for you. Can we be everywhere? Yes. If you have bandwidth, time, money to spend to be everywhere, absolutely do that. There is nothing wrong with being everywhere. We're talking about digital platforms. We're talking about all those hundreds of listings. Google Business Profile is one, Facebook, YouTube, all these are more popular, 10 we know, but then there is like 50, 60 more. Can we be there? Absolutely. It's helpful. Can you handle it is the question. Now, asking the right questions to have clarity. We talked about it, like asking the right question, what's the goal? I follow these groups, home inspection groups, so sometimes when there's a question about, I'm looking for an SEO expert, tag someone you know. And then that's a question. There's no wrong question in there. I'm looking for SEO help. But what are you looking for is the question. Like, are you looking to get more traffic? Are you looking to get more business from SEO? Those are two different questions. But most of the time, because you're not in the business of doing marketing, you're in home inspection business, which is still marketing, but not learning how to do SEO. That's not. You can learn it, but at the cost of not doing home inspection, is it worth it? Maybe not. So that's where the question becomes, what's the goal? What are you looking for? So then go into like filtering out what's relevant, what's important to your business, what will bring more revenue to your business. Stop guessing, start growing with the real ROI. I want to give shout out to Erin. She'll be speaking here, I think twice. She has sessions about different topics she's talking tomorrow. But there is a reason me and Erin talk, and I'm using her breakdown. So large market versus medium market versus small market. Some people may not agree with how this is broken down. But this is generically, we are using it for our conversation today. A large market, we're talking Miami, Houston, Atlanta, 60,000 and above inspection jobs annually. Medium is 30,000 to 60,000. Nashville, parts of Carolinas versus small market is less than 30,000 inspections in a year. Smaller towns, think of any Inspector Gator. Not you. Inspector Gator and Inspector Gator, two different companies. So Texas, they're in Texas. They have a very unique market. They have a very unique radius, I would say. It's not even radius. They're like in a longer area, which goes into, let's say, 100,000 people, but it's very hard to do marketing for their business. And for them, there's a whole unique strategy that they would have to come up with versus a company that's in Nashville or versus Miami. Very, very, very tight, competitive market. So there has to be different approach, different things. We're going to cover a little bit of that today. But wanted to set up some baseline before we go into details. So starting from the small one, let's call it Ignite. What is the strategy you need? Anyone here from in the rural category or your market is? Can you share which city, state? Near Lexington. And do you know how many inspections market size is? How many inspections you do in a year? 300, 200 in a year. Oh, you're just by yourself? Okay, great. So low search volume in your market. People are still searching for home inspection near me. But it's not to a point you can't compare to a larger metro. So for a market like yours, the most important baseline metrics that needs to have, we're putting here Google Business Profile, which was also known as GMB. Google My Business, it used to be a different name. And reputation management. Reputation management refers to responding to reviews. Anybody not respond to reviews on their profile here? You don't?
Some I do and some I don't.
What's the science, or what's your thought behind not responding?
Nothing else.
Just randomly when you remember, you respond. Never looked at it. You know how much it's costing your business.
Maybe you're going to tell me.
You want me to tell now? A lot. A lot. Which market are you in?
I'm a Canadian. I'm in the province of New Brunswick, which is recycling.
Oh,
But
yes.
the whole, like, I work predominantly out of the city area,
Mhm.
where there'd be 3,000 inspections, 3,000 home sales in a year. Well, we cover a lot of the province. There'd only be 9,000 in the whole province.
I see.
That's a large area to get.
Wow. No, that's interesting. So, still, responding to reviews is important. I'll give you an example here. But let me ask another question. Anybody who has negative reviews or one-star reviews in this room? Have you responded to those? Who hasn't responded to a one-star review? No? Why would you respond? They're just angry people. Why did you respond?
Why did I respond?
Yeah.
Well, because usually you see the replies to the reviews when you look at the company and see both sides of the story.
Perfect. This is the answer. Even if it is a negative review, it needs to be responded. Sometimes, which I see a lot of them, are negative reviews from somebody who did not even do business with you. They just found you for some reason and they thought that was you and they left a review. You go find them in your ISN or CRM. They were not even a customer. So telling in the response on the review is very important. I don't see you in our CRM. Can you please send me the details at this email? Because when I, as a home buyer, is going to check that review, why is it negative? And Google has been very smart, by the way. If you haven't checked, go to Google Maps on your phone, go to reviews, and it gives you auto filters. You want to see the newest, you want to see the recommended, or you want to see the lowest. I, as a marketer, would always want to see the lowest first. Not that it's changing my opinion, but I want to see if that restaurant experience for somebody was not great, how did the restaurant attended to it? How did they respond to it? That's very important. That's what any customer is looking for, yes.
How costly is it by not, even a 5-star review, not saying thank you?
Say it again, how what?
How costly is it not to respond as far as?
It's costing you business. It's not costing you anything else. It's just costing you business. If you're not responding, there are two things happening. One, Google is seeing you're not active. You're just getting the reviews. You're not engaging with them after that. So that's one thing Google bots are noticing. Second, it's a normal customer behavior, consumer behavior. These days, people go to reviews and they want to see how are you responding. Are you acknowledging? Thank you for saying it. Thank you for leaving a review. Appreciate your business. Next time you need, call us again. Or you can say that we have a special VIP concierge for repeat customers, and here's the information. Next time you need an inspection, call this number instead. You're just saying that. You can say whatever you want. The point is responding to it is very important. Now, costing, it's only costing you business because some consumers have made up their mind that they want to see how relationship oriented you are to your customers. This customer is going to come to you one time. We're probably buying first house forever for their life. They probably don't need an inspection. Maybe when they need a next one, they're moving to Florida. They don't want to live in Chicago, so they're calling John Bolton to do the inspection. So they're moving to Florida. They're not coming back to you. So it's one experience. How better can we make it? There's only certain things we could do to earn that customer's business one time in their life. These are all the things we're going to talk about today.
So ranking, you lose ranking on Google by not responding?
Correct. It helps. Yes. It's an activity shown by you. Yes.
Is it worth
You could. There's no perfect guidelines on that. I would not say yes or no, but there's nothing wrong in doing that. Moving forward, I would set up a reminder or something at least once a week, at least once a week. There's AI bots that can do that as well. They would read if it is, if it has this, then respond this, thank you so much, great service, appreciate you leaving a review. If it is negative, it goes to you as an email, then you draft it. It actually drafts it for you. You just check it and then you hit a button. It takes less than 5 minutes. If you're getting like 10, 15 reviews, it automatically populates a response for you. There's different tools, you can look it up. But it's important to respond.
I think usually sellers, not my clients, but sellers, and they haven't come up with a good response on it. They don't like it when we find problems with their house. In fact, they hate it when you find problems with their house.
Absolutely.
Unfair, that you said their roof was dead, this, that, and the other thing. I just need to come up with a better response. Since they're not my clients, I don't have legal responsibility to
Correct, but they're still leaving a review.
And actually, those reviews can help you because we had all 5 stars, and we had a seller and their partner both give a bad review, but we gave it context and said, you're actually the seller of the home, you're not our client.
Yes.
But in response to that, here's actually what happened. And we actually had a few customers that said, your reviews were so amazing, we actually didn't think you were a real company with real reviews, and when we saw it and how you responded, it made us want to book you because we know you're not working with the agent, you're actually finding the things that are important to find. So I think it's all positioning and how you respond.
Absolutely, great answer, thank you. Which company are you with?
I'm not a specific company, we're master franchise owners for a number of provinces in Canada.
And which is?
A buyer's choice home inspection.
Oh yes, the buyer's choice, I know. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, this is a great answer. Always respond.
Yeah, because I'm afraid you don't want to have just all 5s.
Oh, absolutely.
It's totally
It's fake, yeah. You want to be around like 4.4. There's different, sometimes 4.6 as well, but anything above 4.2 is what is considered acceptable, I would say. 5 is not acceptable. It's just like raise eyebrows. Oh, 5-star.
Some of the 5 stars I see, the guys have been in business for 3 months. So you're like, wow, they've got this many reviews and they haven't been in business for, I mean, nobody does 300 home inspections in their first 6 months of business.
And that,
To encourage negative reviews at this point.
no. I encourage more reviews. You will get negative automatically. You can't please everybody. That's awesome.
Yeah, Google in some cases will remove a negative review too.
Correct. Not often, yes. So always, if you have a negative review and it's not from a customer you served, you should flag it. It may take a day, it may take a decade. We don't know.
And it depends on your response too. So if you are clear in your response, Google will actually go and look how you responded to your review.
Correct.
If you flag it, so don't just flag it, do both. Respond to it.
Yes.
And say this wasn't a client or whatever the situation is, then report it as well.
I'll repeat. So thank you for saying, sorry, I couldn't get your name.
Darcy.
Darcy. Great insights. Thank you.
I have studied Google in and out. Like I have absolutely deep dived into
It is very important, and thank you for sharing that. So when you have a review, which is not a client, but they left a negative review, you want to first respond to it and then flag it as well, because when Google is looking into the flag or the reported review, they want to see what did you say, because you also submitted a report, what happened, why they're not a customer, what you said, and then it will be removed. So both things are important at the same time, versus earlier I was only talking about someone having a bad experience. It could be possible. Something could happen. Our inspector showed up late. Yes, I'm so sorry this happened. I would actually have a system in place to make a call before they get to a point where they would leave a review. But if it got to a point where they did leave a review, always say something that you would use as a marketing piece to tell me as a home buyer when I'm looking at your review. So that's the science behind it. It's very important. Communication, presenting yourself, your business. Small market, basic strategy. We covered Google Business Profile and review management. Second layer is the next tier, 30,000 to 60,000 inspection market. That's like a middle-sized market. What's important? What are the challenges first? Moderate competition, you still have kind of limited reach depending on the market. Some markets are different than one on the other. What's winning across the United States among hundreds of companies we work with, all home inspection companies, some of them are doing 600 inspections in a week. Some of them are doing 600 inspections in a year. So we work with across all sized companies. All this data is based on not just our clients, but the data we scrape from internet as well. For middle-sized market, doing search engine optimization for their website, doing paid ads, we're talking about Google at this point, and very well-targeted content. What is well-targeted content? If you are in Naples, Florida, or you are in certain county in Dallas, Texas, you want to write content about that city, that county. Top 5 mistakes we find regularly in Tarrant County. Top 5 mistakes we found in new construction in this city or this county. You're just putting that content into the internet world, www world, to get it ranked. When it is optimized correctly with right keywords, that's what you want to get clicks on, get organic traffic to your website, and then the journey continues. It's very important to have those targeted pieces created content-wise to get in front of the audience when they're searching for home inspection in that city. There's so many knowledge about that. I know most people are familiar with keyword targeting. I'm assuming, making that assumption, home inspector in South Kentucky, home inspector in the city name. We're talking about that context. So when you have the content written in that area, that's what we're talking about. Then there's a large market or large-sized companies. Ooh. This Google slide is converted into PowerPoint. It's a little messed up. I'll walk you through it. So we're talking about the blue line on top, right here. The text you see under scale is part of this text. So I'll just walk you through it. So at this large-sized company, we're looking at scaling it. We're looking at everything below that we talked about. Then we're looking at reviews growth, getting more reviews. We're looking at setting up automations. We're looking at advanced level search engine optimization that has LLM texts, which is targeting your AI searches to get you more qualified leads through ChatGPT, Perplexity, or all those AI search engines. And then additionally, we're talking about paid ads. I have another slide going into detail, so I will just say paid ads in terms of having Google ads, having Facebook ads, very well targeted, having Bing ads as well. Anybody familiar with Bing ads? Anyone familiar with Bing browser? Microsoft?
I've heard of it.
You heard of it? Anyone uses it? You use it too? Anyone else? Interesting. That sounds about right. Sounds about right. There is less than 5% people, 5% user in terms of how many people use Chrome versus other browsers. So there's less than 5%. But there are searches happening there. There are searches. Across the companies we work with, home inspection companies, we don't look at it on a monthly basis. That's very important. You do not want to look at it on a monthly you want to look at it but not make decisions is what I mean. At least look at quarterly or 6 months, maybe a year. You would see a good portion of revenue is coming from Microsoft browser searches. People are searching there. Mostly commercial jobs that we track. John knows for Launchpad Group, all the brands among Launchpad, a lot of commercial jobs across their brands throughout the country come from Microsoft browser. Microsoft ads together, mostly from ads, because the best part is nobody is doing Microsoft ads in most markets. There are now, we see, some companies are doing it, but for the most part, you would not have any competition on Microsoft browser. And who's searching Microsoft? People who are in commercial space, and they're not price shoppers. They're going to call and book right away. They're not going to call anybody else. They've done their research. They've spent enough time on your website. They like you. They're going to call you, and they're going with you. That's a common journey that we track among all the businesses we manage. There are some outliers, but not most of it. Versus Google, you would see a lot of price shoppers. You'd have to fight to get the job. So that's how we are differentiating between 3 different areas, 3 different sized companies. Any questions so far? All good?
Do you have a way to analyze that for each market? What people are using?
The question is, do we have a way to analyze it, what people are using? Can you elaborate?
Well, for example, I'm in an area, Intel is our biggest employer. So are they using more Bing or Microsoft more so than in a different market?
Absolutely. There's tools to find all that information. So if you're familiar, one way is if you're familiar with Google Ads dashboard, you could go find out the keywords by plugging in keywords to find the audience size. You can find what browser they're using. You can find what kind of device they're using. Are they on Apple devices? Are they on Android, phones-wise, laptop, Windows or Mac? Which version of it. You can go so deep into finding out what kind of browser they use, what kind of screen size they have on their phone. There's so much data you can collect even before you need to launch. And after launching it, anybody familiar with Google Analytics, user behavior, user journey? Anybody tracks that? Good. What do you look at it on regular basis?
I mean, the most important thing is we want to see the landing page that brought them to the site.
Correct.
You know, obviously an advertisement or organic SEO is number one thing. All of our very least where they start.
Awesome. And your name and which company are you with?
My name is Josh Orford, Super Inspector.
Super Inspector.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you for being here. The response is they track to see what kind of landing pages where people are coming in and what actions they're taking. I would add one more thing here. If you're not familiar with heat maps, it's very important to just once a month go look at it, what people are doing on your website. Heat maps is, I'm sure everybody's familiar with infrared gun here. Yes? It's an infrared gun for your website. That's a good analogy. So how it is done, there's a free website you could use. They have a free version, hotjar.com, HOTJAR.com. You get it implemented on your website, and it gives you a limited, like 50, 100, or 100 people daily visitors. You get to track their journey on your website. Are they spending time on the homepage or this blog or this picture that you think is the best picture you have taken and it will work great and people will die to book an inspection with you? But the report will tell you nobody's even paying attention to it. What it means is we need to change the real estate. That is taking space. I might think this particular picture is the best picture, but the website visitors are telling me what they're engaging the most with. We have that website for the customers to book an inspection with us, not for me. I'll build a separate website if I want to. For me, I can't. So that's very important. So we covered that part. My colleague here, Gabby, some people know Gabby, is going to come and continue some part of this. And Gabby has been working at Digital Addicts for a couple years now, and She's going to talk about some of the things that she prepared to share with you. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah, I don't really have a cool video intro like Khurram, but like he said, I've been working at Digital Addicts for 4 years and I've seen a lot of growth in this industry. So I wanted to bring a little bit of value when it comes to questions. I think in digital marketing, especially in this space, there's so many opinions, so many things that people want to share that worked for them, and it's a miracle. But before you decide where you want to put your money, it's really important that you ask yourself the right questions. If you choose the right questions, the path forward will show itself. So the first question, I'm going to share 3. The first one is, where do I stand? Look inwards, right? Are you in a large market, medium market, small market? It's kind of what Aaron Guyton is going to be talking about. And are you optimizing for the right platforms? Are you measuring your strategy, or are you just measuring clicks and activities and traffic? And Khurram's going to touch a little bit on the metrics that actually matter in a little bit. The second question is, who are you competing with? You know, you might think that everyone in your market is your competitor, but they're not. You compete with people who have a similar size, a similar company as yours. So if you look at somebody who has a digital strategy built for the last 5 years and you just started yesterday, it's not that you're not in the same game. So you need to stop comparing yourself with them so that you can actually grow and, you know, take the right steps forward. And the last question that you need to ask yourself is, are you listening to the right people? You know, everything affects everything. So your market, where you are, even if it's somebody down the street, depending on their price point, their selling points, everything that they have digitally, everything affects everything. So you need to be able to listen to people who have at least gone through what you're going through right now, so that you don't get flooded with so many information that you really can't see the path forward. So it's very important to stop guessing, start using data, and track the right metrics, and Khurram's going to be back to tell us more about that.
Thank you, Gabby. Vanity and trap. This is very important. In the beginning, we talked about what's important and what's not important. Us as business owner can get trapped into tracking so many things. Do we want to spend all the time on things that are not important? Probably not in this age. It's not important. It's important to a point where you're looking at it but not making decisions. What's not helping you make decisions? For you as the business owner, the impressions, the likes, the follows, the clicks. Not for you. Not for you, the business owner. That's for your marketing person to look at. What is it that they need to change if they're not getting enough likes, if that's an important metric for them. But for you as the business owner, you are tracking your ROI by campaign. You're tracking the number of dollars you're presented. You had 100 calls, 80 calls gave a quote. Out of those 80 quotes you've given, how many of them are converted? Let's say we see a 70% conversion rate from the quotes that are given. Anybody knows how many quotes you're giving and what's the conversion rate in this room? Anybody wants to share? Yes, go ahead.
It's not always great. I mean, you get anywhere down to the tens percentages if you're doing large net stuff. I mean, but if you do direct coupons, things like that, maybe you get 50-60% on a good day for us.
Good. That's good insight. At least you're tracking it. Why it is important? Tracking, because that's the money on the table. Can we agree on that? You quoted 80 calls out of 100, 20 were, let's call it spam. We're asking for a service we don't do. 80 you have quoted. Let's put a dollar value to it. For easy numbers, let's say $10,000. 80 jobs were quoted against $10,000. We only converted 10 out of that. Roughly 2,000 maybe. There was $8,000 more on the table. Are we listening to those calls as the owners? Because our people who are answering calls may not have that strategic authority to make decisions what needs to change. Us as the owners, Are we listening to those calls? Are we taking any action from it? Are we comparing it with the other companies across the country? What's an average conversion rate from that call? We do get all these questions when we start working with someone, some new client, new home inspection company, new experience for us, for them. We have insights. We get to show them, let's say we have clients who are doing 78% conversion. But then when we are onboarding somebody, they're happy with 20% conversion. Is that correct? Maybe not. There's gaps that we help fill by sharing those KPIs. How can you get more conversion? You're already spending money to bring those leads in. You're spending ads dollars if you have an ads budget. You're probably doing something to get those leads, be it coming from a realtor that's sending you referrals. You're doing something because of what that realtor is sending you those leads, right? So it cost money to get that one single call. Now, how do we make sure we convert all of them, or most of them? Those are the questions that we're talking about. For us, for you guys, business managers, business owners, knowing your sales, knowing your return on ad spend. You spent $1,000, you saw that because it shows up on your Chase credit card, but it's not showing in your bank account how much of that came back from that campaign. So tracking, measuring, everything is very important. It sounds very hard, but it's just one time you have to set it up in a way that you are getting regular reports to see those numbers. Because your Chase is texting you right now, $1,000 is taken out by Google, but if you're not tracking, or you did not put tracking to measure the success from that Google campaign or Facebook campaign or any other marketing paid campaign, it needs to be tracked, to be measured. So those are the important metrics we're going to talk a little bit more about. People who run ads in this room, do you know what is your return on ad spend, and where does it need to break even? Anyone running ads in this room? Paid ads? Do you know your return on ad spend?
It just started, so it's not.
Okay, let's talk to someone who has been doing it. Anybody else? And there's no wrong answer, guys. I'll give you $2 bill. By the way, if you don't know, people who ask questions, they get $2 bill. This is something I learned when I moved to the US in 2017. My friends like John Bolton and a couple other people helped me understand what's unique. And I learned $2 bill has a unique value among people. And usually when I give to people, they have somebody already picked out, oh, I'm going to give it to my granddaughter or my grandkids, or that, oh, I saw this after 10 years, I lost mine that I had. There's some emotional value to it. I'm not putting my name on it or any chip in it. It's a fresh $2 bill. I promise you I printed it this morning. It's crispy. No, it's real. It's real. So come stop by our booth. No strings attached. It's yours. Now, going back to the question, anybody running ads knows your return on ad spend?
It's a negative ROI.
We'll fix it. So, return on ad spend, thank you for sharing that. Here's what we know. Now, it may depend different to your market, to your average ticket price, but in general, we can say if you're spending $100, and it's a formula just to make an explanation, you're spending $100 on a Google ad, for example. Most people do local service ads, and you're generating $500 in revenue. That's 5x. That's how the ROAS, or return on ad spend, is calculated. That's an important metric for you to track when you're doing paid ads. Now, if you're doing it, do you have 5x? Why is that a break even? I'll go back. Now, average we're taking here is home inspection job is $500. I know some markets we have $750 as well. We do have actually $950 minimum home inspection fee for some clients we work with. But we also have $300 ones. So we're taking $500 as an average. To break even, you have a cost to do that inspection. You have to probably pay that inspector who's going out to do that. Then you have gas, you have other expenses to cover. We're keeping $100 as imagine, is the money you would spend to get an inspection. And then 5X would just cover the part where you're just breaking even. You're not making money yet, you're just breaking even. So that's the idea behind it. Now you use this formula to your company, your average ticket price, where it matches your company's financials. Really, what's important is tracking the return on ad spend. Do you know the scientific formula to get the higher return on ad spend? I'll just make it easy for you. I'll just start showing you. There's no science. It is no science. It's a implementation. Being smart, being proactive about it, listening to the calls. I am not suggesting listening to 500 calls every day. Please don't. That's not your job. Don't distract yourself. Once a week, just listen to 5 calls. Random calls. Probably listen to the ones that you want to that did not convert. They were quoted, but find out why they did not convert. Most common behavior we find across the companies is late follow-up. A web form came in, you sent a quote 2 days later. By that time, they already had inspection booked and done with somebody else because we took 2 days to go back. We do have some clients, based on all this trackers we set, we do have some clients who have 60-second response rate. They have set in their company to reach out to those customers. Then when a lead comes in as a web form, they reach out within 60 seconds between 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Within 60 seconds. Guess what changed for them? 70% increase in those leads that are coming from web form. Why? Because we learned with the data when they were calling 2 hours later or sometimes next day, those people weren't even answering. And when they were answering, they were, oh, we already booked with somebody else. That's too late. Yes?
Real estate agents, we're all trying to get business from them and from the clients anywhere we can, but I know that in my market, it can be, even 20 minutes. If you don't call back, almost instantaneously, they're just going out of this.
Correct.
And if you don't answer, you're just gone. You're already out, and they've gone on to the next person, whoever picks up the phone.
Thank you for sharing that. So we just heard that people are calling the next one in line. I would encourage you guys to do that search. Become a home buyer. Try to do that search in your market. You will be not amazed because you're familiar with Google search. You know there's 4 ads or sometimes 7 ads are showing up, then 10 organic searches results are showing up. And if you're one of them, great job. But remember, out of those 14, 15, or 17 results, that person who took 20 seconds to fill out the form is not going to wait for a day for you to come back. They're submitting that to somebody else as well. So for you to reach out faster, this is a race. We're F1 formula race. We're trying to win that. Increasing your conversion rate. Somebody reached out. They don't know you as your business. They know a service you offer. They contacted you or left their information because they saw something in a Google review or your realtor recommended it or somehow word of mouth. They reached out is the first step they took. Now it's your turn to reach back out faster. So listening to the calls is important. Fast follow-up we already covered, and the kick-ass campaign. That's also very important. We at Digitalatics, we see ROAS between 10 to 34x. Now that's a big difference there. Going back to different markets, some markets are very competitive, some markets are less competitive, some markets are where you're able to do certain things differently, even though they are very competitive. And by the way, the 34X is in a very competitive market. It's very important to understand the industry, have your marketing campaign structured in a way by people who understand the industry. It's very important when you're structuring those campaigns, they're talking to home buyer, they're communicating your business and brand values to a home buyer, to a decision maker who is booking that inspection. If they are not convinced, they're going to go to the second in line or the third in line or the fourth in line. It's very important. 200% satisfaction guarantee. This is one of the ad copy we have which has the highest click-through rate. 200% satisfaction guarantee. I want to get that because the other company is also charging $500. They're charging $520. I want to go with the satisfaction guarantee. It makes me happy. It makes me feel comfortable. I want to trust you. There's a sign that says that 200% guarantee. There's another sign that says you're available on weekends. I want to know that because I'm a home buyer. If you do those things, weekends, holidays, if you do inspection on those days, they needs to be highlighted. There's so many other factors we can talk for hours, but I'm highlighting some of the very, very, very important, the top line things that we're tracking. Just to show you some of those results there, our dashboard is, these are just screenshots from some of the paid ads campaigns. If you see right here, on top you would see Google Ad spends, the number of leads, how many were quotable. And again, this is just the beginning journey of one of our clients. It shows quotable quotes to booking rate, then the quote value by Google. They spent 4,500 to generate quotes of 117,000, and their business that they got was 58,000, which is 13x ROI, return on ad spend, ROAS. This is 13x. Here's another one. This is 10x. 19,000 on ad spend, generated 200,000 roughly in return on ad spend. If you've noticed, I'm not talking about the quote value of 117,000. It's very important for us marketeers. This is very important. Sometimes I use the word, if us as the marketeer are doing a bad job in producing those leads, so it tells you that, or are we doing a good job? From that part, how many of them are converted into sales is on you. We are bringing those qualified leads. All marketing companies in this industry trying to do that, bring you qualified leads. From that journey, next step is for home inspection business to get them converted into sale. That's very important to see. That's why we have that number here. But when we are talking, we're trying to be on the same page. You want to see what's going out of your bank account, what's coming back into the bank account. And then we were going to talk about how we can reduce that gap. So this one is showing 10x. This one is also, this is 17x. Here's another one, 34x roughly. Is again very, these are all new campaigns. When we set up, we start going into looking at those data. You can't have a high return on ad spend if you don't have amazing ads that cut through the clutter. How we define amazing ads is it talks about the pain point. It talks about what you are going to do, telling them what you're going to do, and then doing it. That's the whole experience. That's the whole package. Delivering that experience through your ad copy, through your landing page, and your reviews are cherry on top. For me, I saw the ad, I saw landing page, I have everything I need to know. Oh, let's go check their reviews. That's where I'm gonna, some people do like that. They're gonna go check the reviews, find out what people are talking about, then make a decision. The whole journey continues. So your return on ad spend is heavily, heavily dependent on how your campaigns are structured and how you are measuring it and what kind of results you're getting. Everything is all connected.
I have a question.
Yes.
All of those ROI examples you gave us, the conversion rates were, to me, scary low. They were 50%, 60%. It seems like how can you get your hands on what's causing that? Is it just a price thing? Is it showrooming? What is it?
So we have a lead intelligence service at Digilatics. I can use that example. So all of these clients that you saw the screenshots for, they're in the first 2 months of their journey with us. What we do in the first 2 months is collect their company-specific data to learn what conversations they're having. Are they going by a script? What are the gaps? What is it that they're not doing? Are they following up late? They coded someone but did not follow up for 3 days. All those insights we collect and we share with those companies that this is the gap. This is what we have a standard document, you call it SOP, across the country. Companies who have 78% and above conversion rate, what they are doing, here's the gap. And most of the time when they start implementing fixing those gaps, they go up from that 30% to 50% to 60 to 70. It's a journey. It does not happen overnight. It starts with you listening to those calls, us listening to those calls, then you listening, and then taking an action. It's a step by step. But eventually you get to a point. The company I'm referring to, 78% conversion rate, they started with us at 40% conversion rate. Now they're at 78%. They also thought that 40% is an industry average. Who told you that? There's no data behind it. I have data. I can show you. Now let's set up. Now there was none at 78%. Now they are one of the top conversion rate companies, for example. And I'm talking in overall their business. If I look at paid ads conversion, they're probably at 90% for some campaigns. So that's how granular we recommend going into looking at that data. Why it's important? Why are you doing ads? You probably have realtors sending you referrals. You might not want to spend another $5,000 on paid ads, right? But when you're spending, you probably have an inspector or inspectors that are not, their calendars are not full, so you're doing ads. So that's how the whole conversation go into step by step. Why am I doing it? What I need to track, how I track it. Let's see. So we have a video of a testimonial from some of our existing clients. This is Greenworks, and there's a couple others. Let's play it. Is it rolling?
We have, hit right at $1 million in revenue under, powered by Digilatics.
It's not just about coming with a show of this is how many impressions we got.
And they make sure that we're actually achieving some goals that we wanted to achieve.
I highly recommend talking to Khurram and his team if you want to take your company to another level.
Digilatics has been great in helping us find opportunities. Digilatics is transparent.
Since switching to Digilatics and them handling our marketing, we have had a decrease of our cost per conversion by 90%. We have continued to have growth. We grew by 17% last year in our home inspection and 22% overall as a company. Our call center is handling 3,000 calls per week, and we have reached a record of 101 inspections booked in one day, with 396 inspections completed for the week. For the last 5 weeks, we have exceeded any record that we've had within Greenworks' 14-year history.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't think of a better partner. I have met so many wonderful companies out there, but no one compares to Digilatics. They have just been tremendous. Their insight into the industry, their knowledge on how to actually use Google and other platforms to really help get your business out there and help you grow and strive the way you want to. They're just the best. We love them and highly recommend them.
It's the missing link that most digital ads companies should do this, and maybe 1 to 5% actually deliver on this most important aspect in managing ads, is when the rubber meets the road, what's the revenue actually coming into the company? Not just about coming with a show of this is how many impressions we got. It's coming like this is how many people actually scheduled. So that to me is worth it.
Helping us out with that, with a website. They've been great to work with. They are doing a great job. So Kevin is our Director of Growth and Development.
They do a great job of telling us exactly what they're doing for us. They're wonderful to work with. They're very helpful, and they make sure that we're actually achieving some goals that we wanted to achieve and exceeding those goals.
And working with Digital Analytics, it's been a blessing because I know exactly where the money's being spent. I can immediately, the first thing everyone always says, what's your ROI? What's your pay per click? What's all that? You get all of that. It's so easy. He's so easy to talk to. His entire team is fantastic.
We've been working with Digital Analytics for about 2 years now on our paid search campaign. About a year ago, we also had our website hosting switched over to them. We really never had someone listen to our calls, find areas of opportunity, and really break down our various campaigns. We're doing a home inspection campaign, a branded campaign, and a commercial inspection campaign. The whole team come together to help review our monthly input. You know, how much are we spending on Google? What is our ROI? What is our weaknesses and strengths? They're not just going to continue to sell you things. They are working within your overall goal. And our latest 2025-2026 goal presentation from Emily has been fantastic, really incorporating AI, coming up with some strategic opportunities in certain markets where we're performing well and could be doing better. So overall, if you are looking for help in the ever-changing world of online ads and digital space, Digital Analytics has been very great for us.
Only some testimonials we have a lot more. Most of time we don't even ask. We do a bad job. I always tell Gabby that. It's not your fault, Gabby. We do a bad job in asking for reviews. These are the ones that we got. Guys, do this. Here's the video. Go use it. Anyways, it's still important. I'm gonna skip some of these slides. We kind of covered a little bit this. I'm gonna cover a little bit of omni-channel. Omni-channel, again, going back to the small, medium, and bigger metros, pick up what's more relevant to you. Pick up what's important to your business. Select what is going to get you most ROI. Can you be everywhere? We already covered, yes, it's good to be everywhere, but can you afford? Can you pay for it? So selecting where the most audience is, most home buyers are spending time is very important for your business. There's Meta ads, which is Facebook and Instagram. There's Google ads, there's multiple ways of doing Google ads. There's search campaigns, there's local ads, there's Yelp ads. These are some of the top ones, but select what is relevant in your market. That's going to help you get in front of a home buyer when they're looking for a home inspection. Google has been changing a lot. There's a lot of new advancements coming to it. If you are doing Google ads, yes, Power Pair, maybe if you've heard about it, is now talk of yesterday, last year. Now Power Pack is coming. How you set it up to get the more conversion, how AI is involved in that. How is Power Pack gonna get you more qualified clicks, qualified leads, qualified business into your funnel? How are you using these technologies to get in front of those potential customers? So then there's some I think I can skip that, but if you're interested in talking about learning more dynamic keyword and all these things, I can talk to you after. We're running out of time, so I want to cover some of the important pieces here. But this is interesting. If you manage Google Ads yourself, I'm happy to talk to you about this. Now, understanding the AI, our friend Aaron, everybody was in Aaron's talk? He talks good stuff, so I'm sure you took notes. I'm going to cover not everything he did. Maybe there's some repetition, but LLMs are very important. LLMs are large language models. If you're familiar with your website schemas, there is a box in your website, a section on your website, not visible to you, but it's kind of a packet that communicates with Google search on what you do, what kind of keywords you're trying to rank for. LLMs are for AI search engines. If you don't have those, we want to make sure you have LLM enabled, set up in a way so AI search engines are able to see your business, rank your business in ChatGPT, Perplexity, and all those different AI search engines that are there. Why they're important? They're you know, it's getting popular. Some people are still searching on Google. Some are going to AI search engines. So it's important to be in the most important places. Why it matters for your business. Influence how user discovers business online. A couple years ago, when Home Inspector Near Me became more attractive for everybody to ask those questions, like how do I show up when somebody's saying home inspectors in my town? I'm not showing up there. So we started talking about Google Business Profile and local searches. Similarly, you want to be in your ChatGPT searches, for example. ChatGPT is still one of the popular ones, but you want to be making sure if you have the LLM file enabled on your website to be shown in rest of the search engines. There's different ways of setting it up. If you're not the one setting it up, let your web developer, your person, whoever manages your website, they're going to take care of it. They're going to create all of these things. So I will just skip that. Oh, take a picture. The magic is in the middle. Optimizing the middle. Optimizing your spend and your return is very important. And you will make more by spending less. What's the point in tracking all these things? You're spending $10,000 in marketing every month. Do you want to spend $10,000 to create the same impact next year, same September? No. The goal is to track all these metrics, sends that data back to Google so your campaigns are optimized. So let's say you're spending $10,000 to generate 100 inspection jobs. The goal is, if you're spending $10,000 next year in September, the goal should be you need to create 140, 150 jobs out of the same 10,000 spent. That's the optimization. And I love to use this analogy of engines, cars. I'm sure everybody's familiar, miles per gallon. So it's the miles per gallon. You have electric cars now. I'm not going to Tesla, I'm just using analogy. How can you get more mileage out of a gallon? It's the gas, you're still putting a gallon in the car. How can you get 30 miles? How can you get 50 miles? That's the whole point in optimizing your campaigns, tracking those numbers, listening to those calls, and making decisions that will help you optimize your campaigns even better. The magic is in the middle. Make platform-specific decisions based on real numbers, your cost per acquisition is reduced, and your return on ad spend is going to keep increasing once you start optimizing, start asking right questions, start implementing those changes when you find the gaps. Very famous quote by John Wanamaker, half of the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The problem is I don't know which half. Who feels like that? That's every business, right? So tracking, it is very important. Just like you spend time on your P&L statement, it is highly recommended for future of your business. If you're looking to scale, if you're looking to grow, this is very important to track, measure, implement, and repeat. Because Google is going to change next year. It will have something else. You might want to track that at that point. But getting into the habit of tracking, measuring, implementing, and repeating, it's very important. Don't outspend, just outsmart. Very important. The goal is to show on the search ads and organically. This is one of our clients, Dan Deist from Maryland area. Anyone familiar? Dan Deist, top to bottom services. So this is a screenshot of their ad and the search organic result. So the goal is to show number one or in the top few results organically and as a paid ad. Key takeaways. One size does not fit all. We talked about what's important in your market may not work for a different market. So it's always important to look at those things. Asking the right questions for your business. Tracking your return on investment, your ROAS, return on ad spend. Tracking all marketing metrics. Let your market and data define your strategy. We talked about 3 different categories and what's important for each category for you to take, implement, and learn, make changes, and repeat. It's very important to keep looking at those numbers. And we have an inspection fuel special. For companies who don't know Digitalytics, I would like you to scan this QR code. It will take you to a landing page where you could request a free website audit and a free action plan if you have any gaps on your website, and a free consultation call. No pressure. Nobody's going to sell you anything unless you need help. We are just going to tell you where we see potential, where we see gaps, and give you a plan. You want to implement it yourself in-house? We'll tell you how to do it. If you would like us to handle that, we'll be happy to take that over as well. And we have a special offer for the Inspection Fuel Conference. I'd highly encourage you, especially come to the booth to grab $2 bill. If you see it on the table, do not ask, just take it. Just take it. And there's a box there where you can leave your information to get a chance to win $2,000 value of services from Digitalytics. I think some people are still scanning it. Yes?
It took me to the registration for inspection fuel.
You have to scroll down more.
Oh, scroll down further?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the button on top.
Absolutely. This is towards the end of it. And if any questions, anybody have anything specific you want to talk to us about, Gabby and I will be at our booth that we're going to go set up right now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. Let's take a moment. We're going to take a picture with everybody. Selfie. Let's do it. Anybody needs to fix their hair? What exactly? All right, let's do it. Do we stand up or keep sitting? I think this way is better. I'll just go here. All right, smile. 1, 2, 3. Inspection fuel. All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.